All right, so the discussion here is about this past weekend in the PTQ, where we saw three reclaimer, green-white reclaimer lists making the top 8. So all three of the lists actually have a significant difference. So number one, we have Rodrigo's deck list. This is Rodrigo Togores, I was saying. And the shell is always the same, right? We have 4 Reclaimer, 4 Dryads, 4 Primetimes, and then everything else is kind of like moving stuff around and like the different choices. So definitely Rodrigo's, which is the best placing one. Mark on 12, we have so many subs today. Thank you so much, folks. Thank you for coming back to the Primetime Toronto for the second month in a row, Mark, and I appreciate it. So again, this is the list that I played on Friday, so you can watch the VOD on YouTube. And we have basically very few targets for Lambus Gold, very few silver bullets. And this version kind of focuses a little bit more on, like Steve, Springbloom Druid, and Explore. It just focuses a little bit more on being more consistent. Of course, we have the Reclaimer, Flagstone's engine going on, of course, and some Dryad and the 4 Primetimes. But this is Rodrigo's list. In the sideboard is where we have all the silver bullets with Mind Sensor, Oof, Teague, and some Tireless Trackers, of course, 3 Boils as well. And on 7th place, yeah, this is the other one. So this version actually goes with Wall of Blossoms. This is actually something that X-Whale Will was trying out. Wall of Blossoms, of course, is pretty great against the Prowess matchup, so having access to Wall of Blossoms in the main deck helps against Prowess significantly. We, of course, have the couple of Arbor Grazers and stuff, and the rest of the shell is pretty much the same, but note that this list has no main deck answer to Blood Moon, and instead we are playing Summoner's Pact. We're also not playing Springbloom Druid, which has been a card that I have been pretty impressed with, and it have been doing consistent work in this kind of lists. We also have second Ramina, which I found super interesting, and it's a little bit confusing even because like I cannot really think of any matchup where I would want redundant copies of this effect, unless it gets like countered against control or something like that. But like usually you're not just gonna randomly be playing Ramina as a 2/3, right? You're gonna either tutor for it when you need it, or you're just gonna play it, you're gonna get your value, and then if it dies again, it's just like it's whatever. So I was definitely surprised to see a redundant copy of Raminap, but we do see the Cyber Damping Spheres. So this list is kind of like a little bit in between Rodrigo's list, and it has a little bit of the sideboard choices that I use in Titan Vial. So we have Arasta, we have the Tech Edge, which has been great for me in my Titan Vial lists, and we have a couple of Damping Spheres. So definitely interesting to see how this list is a little bit more in between Titan Vial in terms of the card choices more than anything else. And finally, we have the 10th place one, which is the one that's closest to Titan Vial, and we're going a little bit more all around in terms of the tutor targets that we have access to. So we have, of course, the same shell as every time, but we have the 1 Ewit in the main deck, 1 Knight of Autumn in the main deck, and 1 Renegade Rallier in the main deck. As well as the tracker. No Explorers in this list, which I found pretty interesting because it seemed to be kind of like a card that has consistently doing fine. So definitely surprised to not see Explore, but we see 2 Steves at least, so it does still have a little bit of ramp. I would imagine that this is the one that's gonna be kind of like a little bit less consistent, but yeah, I mean, it clearly worked pretty well for Saros. It gave them a 10th place finish. Also, another interesting thing here is we have access to Crumbling Vestige, and we also have access to Horizon Canopy. In my experience playing this kind of deck, Canopy is just awful. It's just consistently very bad, so I'm surprised to see it here. Like I found like the Cycling Land, Scattergroves is significantly better when you're looking for a card like with this effect, because you can just fetch for the Scattergroves if you want to get it out of the way. And yeah, as far as the Cyber goes, here we have some very interesting inclusions. We have 1 of Thalia. And this is why I was saying that this one is kind of like the closest one to Titan Vial, because we have one Cyber Thalia, we have the Tech Edge, we have the Raminap, and we have the Eidolon, Oof, and Mind Sensor. So we have a lot of silver bullets to go fetch with the Alhambra Skull. Of course, the Tech Edge we're gonna fetch with Reclaimer, but still, like I'm talking about like the fact that we have multiple silver bullets and we have a Generous Gift as a basically white beast within, which I found kind of funny. I'm not sold on the fact that this is even better than Beast Within. In fact, this sounds worse than Beast Within, in my opinion. First of all, because you have way more basics. I guess not way more basics, but you have more basics than basic forest than basic plains. Even though you have, I guess you have more ways of getting basic plains because of the flagstones. But then you're playing with the foothills, so I think that you want to have access to basic forest more often, so you're going to be fetching for your basic forest because before you go fetching for your basic plains. So if you're using this kind of effect to get rid of Blood Moon, then it's a little bit counterproductive in that sense. Same thing with Ashiok, you're probably going to be more likely to fetch early for a green source, though usually against Ashiok decks you're just going to go get a Temple Garden anyway. But yeah, I thought it was kind of an interesting idea. I probably would play Beast Within if I were to play an effect like this in the sideboard. But we also see the Damping Spheres here, and what is interesting about this version is that we have consistently seen these lists splashing red for Boil, because the blue matchups can be pretty rough. And same thing with Scapeshift, of course, being the worst case for this. But yeah, this list just has no hate for the blue decks really whatsoever. I mean, you could kind of consider Thalia as hate for the blue decks, but not really. Same thing with Relic. So it's interesting to see how many ways this deck continues to be tried out and built. So definitely it's an exciting thing to, just see that people are actually picking up this deck and they're trying to, take it for a spin and kind of like make it a little bit their own. So like stuff like Renegade Rallier, for example, which honestly I don't think I would play. But like, this person, Saros, actually did pretty well by trying out some spicy cards and stuff. So definitely very cool, and one thing that surprised me over the weekend. Okay, now on to the main course for today's stream, and we're gonna be playing a little bit of a Punt then Wines list. If you are unfamiliar with Punt, you shouldn't be. They definitely should follow him on Twitter. He posts very often when he's making innovations to AmuLIT or when he's making changes, which doesn't really happen often. But usually when he builds an AmuLIT list, everything is well thought out, and that's why I always like Punt's list a lot. And he was also a guest in the Titan Talk podcast this past week. So if you haven't checked that out, make sure that you do so. But yeah, if you want to go and learn more about the list specifically, you can go to the cast, and Punt goes a little bit more in detail about the card choices and stuff. But I'm going to basically go over some bullet points. Number one, we're playing Karn, obviously, as you can see here. So we're gonna have a Karn wish board. We have Cage, Coding, Wormcoil, Explosives, and Ballista. No boat, which makes me sad, but still we have the usual suspects in the sideboard and Grafdigger's Cage. We're gonna know that we have 29 lands, so we don't have main deck Bog, Cavern, and we don't have main deck second Cavern, sorry, and we don't have main deck Ghost Quarter. So this is something that we're gonna have to be watching out, and I'm playing all of these cards in my main deck, so I will need to affect my play patterns and adapt accordingly. But we're playing Grixis and 29 lands because we are running 3 copies of Ancient Stirrings. As I always say, the requirement for being playing this card nowadays is that you need to be playing Karn in your deck. It's very important to make sure that Ancient Steerings finds a threat in order to make it a really good card. And I don't need to explain how good this card really is in an AmuLIT deck, so I'm not really gonna, but yeah. Steerings is basically taking the room of 3 lands, so that's why we only have 29 lands. And one thing that I like about Punt's lists is that they're usually very, very consistent. So we see that Punt always prioritizes making sure that we have a bunch of colored sources. So even before we play the main deck Bog and the main deck Ghost Quarter, we're going to be playing stuff that taps for the mana that we need to cast our stuff, basically. Yavqua with the Prime sub. Welcome to the Prime Time Stronghold. I'm Mr. Sakurai. Thank you for the thank you for being here as well. But yeah, actually, by the way, I didn't talk about this, but we do have some new emotes today as well. Some of them didn't go through, unfortunately, apparently, so they will be live next time, I think. But we have, at least we have the Laksak emote that has been already enabled, so that's pretty exciting. But yeah, for the next time, it's going to be even more. I uploaded like 4 new emotes. Oh, there is the Pog one. Oh, okay, so it's just not showing for me, but yeah. We have a Pog emote, we have a whitelist emote, and we have a robot wife emote. So yeah, good stuff, good stuff. Alright, so besides this, one thing that's interesting in the sideboard is that we have access to Uro. Punt actually does like Uro quite a bit, so we see it here. And a couple of forces of vigor. Of course, against the pawn decks and whatnot. But yeah, let's go. Oh yeah, the Reclaimer Punt emote is the new best emote ever now. Did the new patch go through? I have no idea, Tuti, but gracias. Welcome to the Primetime Stronghold once again. #1 mod, best mod. On the robot wife. Ah, okay, yeah. Now there's more emote to make pyramid. Yep. Wow, yeah. Why are you not a mod, honestly? I don't even know why you're not a mod. Anyway, let's go with game #1. Yeah, I'm feeling lucky today. I'm feeling lucky. So I'm just going to play this Grace turn 1, and then we're immediately gonna draw an AmuLIT, because that's what feeling lucky means, basically. One thing that I didn't point out is the fact that we're actually playing 9 bounce lands. So the range of keeps like this one, it's a little bit nicer. So we're actually drawing towards 9 cards that would help us cast our spells. So that's pretty cool. So definitely with a list like this that has not only 9 bounce lands but also a bunch of steerings, you can be a little bit more comfortable keeping a greedy hand like this. More emotes coming, hell yeah. We got all them emotes. Wait, what? Main phase Thought Scour? Why? Sick. I think it's correct for me to prioritize playing the Dryad here instead of the Explorer. Because it means that a bounce land allows me to Titan next turn, while Explore wouldn't. It also means that my opponent can kill this, but if I find a green source off the top, we just win. So that's nice. Green source and tap green. Brutal. Okay, I mean, I guess we just do this. When do you think the red splash version is better positioned than the Karn list? I don't think it's that straightforward, basically. Like, I think that the red version, the red splash version is pretty solid, but I don't think it's just like it's better. Any land gives me Titan mana now. I guess not that one. Damn it. Ugh. Stop like this. Play around K command. To play around K command or not to play around K command. I think I'm going to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The problem is that I can't haste if I play around K command. They clearly don't have Thoughtseize, otherwise they would have Thoughtseize last turn instead of pushing my Gracer. Maybe I should have held onto the Gracer, actually. Maybe that was the play. I think that attempting the champ is better. Yeah, I think I'm actually not going to play around K command here. Because this actually allows me to haste Titan and go for the kill next turn, so seems better. As long as they don't have exactly Thoughtseize, we're gonna be fine. Yeah, because this even beats Timur Battle Rage. I guess another Shadow could be problematic. No, it's not that really. It's not that problematic, really, actually. They have everything. Why would they sequence like that, though? That makes no sense at all. Why would they sequence like that? Just for the slow roll value? I don't know. Seems wrong. Anyway, we want Uro, we want this. Don't really like Karn in this matchup. I don't like Ballista, but I do like this and this. I think I made it clear I'm not using the word exactly anymore. Damn it, Riskmaster. I forgot. You cyber this matchup very differently. What do you do in this cyber? Usually my experience is that Karn is actually quite bad in this matchup. It's really, really tough to play Karn on an empty board. Like, basically it's nigh impossible to play Karn on an empty board in this matchup. And if you're playing Karn on an empty board, you're kind of winning regardless. I do know about that, but it feels like my Titan plan is so much better than my Karn plan. Is that what you do? Alright. I'm down to trying things out. Definitely not opposed to trying things out. It's interesting to me that you're not bringing in this member. I feel like I do lose to... Gourmet Angler a fair amount. So bringing Beast Within, cutting Fountain, Steerings, and Grazer. And you're not bringing in Bog, which is very interesting. So down to 28 lands. What am I missing here? I'm missing something. Oh, you are bringing in Bog. I didn't see Bog there. Oh yeah, I did see Bog. Okay, yeah. All right, so this is what we're doing. Sounds good. Let's take it for a spin. Also, I feel like I transmute for explosives very often in this matchup. And this hand is perfect. So let's keep it. And I think I'm going to be shocking on one. Which is not exciting, but it's okay. Now the question is, do I want to play bounce on two? I think I don't. I think what I do is I'm just going to play castle tapped. So if I draw another tap land, I can play it on my next turn. But if I draw an AmuLIT, we can do Sanctuary. And Nasho S2, 12 months in a row with the Prime sub. Welcome back to the Primetime Stronghold. Enjoy the new emotes. We can actually invert the Pog too. Wow. We get double-sided Pog. So yeah, so it might be weird to play like I need TB and tap land into play here, but I think this is correct because it makes my potential draws that much better. Found it quite interesting which matchups Punt brings Dismember in. If you don't live in Karn, you're too soft to Ashiok. Oh, okay, that's I guess that makes sense. This list is super soft to Ashiok. Yeah, usually my lists play like some form. Really? My opponent's out there just pushing my Gracers. Usually my lists have... Remember, chat, when I didn't play this on turn 1? Remember when I did that? Boy, do I feel smart right about now. Is it better for me? Sure, let's get the Heath. Alright, opponent, let's go. So as I was saying, I was just saying that I very often have, like, when I cut Karn, I bring in stuff like Tracker and stuff like that, so I'm not as soft to Ashiok. But yeah, I guess this list doesn't really have anything besides Uro specifically, so maybe it's not worth it. That's an angler. Well, so if they have stuff, I'm fucked, but... Oh. My opponent is all about that tap out value. They're like, yep, I don't have it. Do whatever you want. I don't have it. I'm not even gonna worry about bluffing it. Just do your thing. Do your thing. Have a good time. What I can do here is I can go Gracer, make +1 mana. This means I can save the Vesuva. I think that's whatever. Yeah, I don't think that's good. So let's just do this. We're definitely attacking here. And we're definitely playing around Damping Sphere on my second main. Bounce here, attack. And I honestly don't think my opponent has a way to stop me, so... Okay, they agree. I was going to get Field plus maybe a basic. And then I was going to play Gracer and then play the fetch land. Anyway, my opponent just backed it in. Okay, so this is what we're doing. All right, let's go. It's likely sad there's no boat. Yeah. I even ran out of emote slots, so I'm gonna have to make like a voting thing in Seal Shadow thing with follow. I'm gonna have to make a voting thing in my Discord because I have too many emotes and I don't have enough slots. So we actually have a boat emote now. Boat emote. Which is pretty sweet. So it's currently for tier 2 subs. Because I just don't have enough room for more tier 1 subs. But so we're gonna have to have like a voting thing where we have to choose which emotes we're gonna make for tier 1 and which emotes we're gonna make for tier 2. Well, yeah, this is a sanctuary draw because we already have Titan mana as is, so we don't really need to play towards finding an amulet. So next turn, if my opponent doesn't have anything, we can just like draw it into steerings, or we can explore into steerings regardless. So we can set up a turn 3 Titan anyway, unless my opponent has like double Thoughtseize. I guess double discard spell because Inquisition gets me too. Okay, so here's Angler. You play so well, I feel like you would be like divisible if you didn't try to cyber 7 cards in each matchup. Well, I mean, it's just the way that I approach the matchups is apparently very, very different to yours. Maybe I shouldn't have exposed that. Like, this is my experience with Karn, right? Like, this is why I don't like Karn in the matchup. Like, what is Karn gonna do here? It's just too slow. If this had been a Worm Coil or an Explosives, I would be in much better shape. Of course, that is even to say if my opponent doesn't just have a stub. And if they just have a stub, then I have to like spend 4 mana to do nothing. So it's just the way that I approach the matchup. You see what just happened, right? Like my opponent has a Starboard Isle in hand, and I am kind of fucked here. I think I'm supposed to take it. Yeah, I mean we cannot we cannot play around Starboard Isle. Like we just have to jam. So there it goes. Well, I'm definitely not attacking. Oh, actually, I should have attacked. Because if I draw Valakut, I have lethal. Well, I guess I have lethal regardless, so. And my opponent being main phase Shadow player. Well, this is going to the bottom. I mean, if I draw a Titan, I actually just win, so that's cool. Prime time? No prime time. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. It's interesting to me to see an uptick in Grixis Shadow. It's a fine draw. Yeah, we'll keep it. This is definitely what I would consider an amulet draw. Because like playing Gracer on 1 doesn't really do anything unless my opponent has turn 1 Goblin Guide or something like that. And which is exactly yeah. I am so good at just knowing what's gonna happen. Maybe I am from the future and I just don't know, you know? So the best thing to do here is to not expose the Azusa. No, actually, it doesn't matter, right? No, it doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. Never mind. So We're just gonna play the SS. I'm just not gonna play the Gracer. And then we're gonna play both of these, and then we have Titan next turn. But this kind of, like, the damage is irrelevant, and this kind of forces my opponent to spend a removal spell on the Azusa, or just let me untap with Azusa, which would be great. Unless they have, like, light up the stage or something, this is just good. Oh, come on! Really? Am I really gonna call every single shot? Am I really going to call every single shot? I mean, it's not gonna matter. Like, what my opponent's doing here, it's pretty much irrelevant, but it's just funny, right? Can I lethal here? I actually might be able to set up lethal here. Oh, thanks, Alan. Thank you for the follow. Stop saying this thing is exactly hidden effect. Yeah, I think we have lethal here. Oh, man. But I have to think. I'm so lazy. One thing to note is that we actually have access to Stronghold, so I think that lethal is going to include Dryad. Because we can't haste both Titans. Wait, can we? Maybe we can haste both Titans. Let's think about this for a second. So this is already a Titan. Then the first Titan goes and gets, this is 1 land drop. Second Titan goes and gets 2 bounce lands. We use the second land drop. We haste Titan, and we get Stronghold and the other thing. We bounce Stronghold. Dan Francisco, thank you so much for the 19-month subscription. Welcome back to the tier 1 sub. So the third land drop can be the Sanctuary. Vestige? Oh, I think I have to set up this beforehand. So land drop number 1, land drop number 2. We play Gracer, we play this as land drop number 3. No, because then I'm missing red mana. This is tricky. Yeah, I'm trying to see what I can do. I think I'm 1 colored mana short of hasting both Titans. But if I can just go back for Dryad here, then get Valakut plus a land, and then on the attack we just get Vesuva, and that's 12 plus 8. So we have way too many Valakut triggers here. This also fixes my mana, which is pretty nice. Look at Stronghold. Yeah, I was trying to see if there's a flashier line, just because it's kind of fun to do the little thought experiment. But yeah, this is just lethaler. Vesuva, any fetch. Man, remember when AmuLIT was hard to play? I feel like I'm still like trying to make AmuLIT hard to play for no reason. I'm just trying to make AmuLIT hard to play just because it's fun for me, when in reality it's just like, yeah, just back for dry, you have lethal. It's just like, aw. It's not as fun. Not as fun. My opponent, I think they might be on the Incinerator burn. Maybe they do have Eidolon. I would assume that they have Eidolon. Personally, I'm not a fan of Wormcoil in this matchup. I think it's too easy for our opponents to play around it. You like Force? Why do you like Force and not Sage? Do they have Blood Moon? I'm not familiar with what I like to call strictly worse burn. Because there kind of is no stock list. No Eidolon trigger. Yeah, but like this trades with a Goblin Guide. So is the Eidolon trigger worth trading with a Gobo? Also, I wouldn't bring more than one of these effect. I wouldn't bring more than one. I think that 2 is just too many copies. Yeah, I think I would just go for this. I really, really dislike Karn in this matchup for the same reason that I dislike it in the Shadow matchup that we just played. I think that it's really, really bad here. Like, you basically can never play Karn. And the worst part about Karn in this matchup is that it doesn't even save you life. Like, you just play Karn and your opponent just ignores it and kills you. Well, this hand is awkward. I think I keep it, but I think I might very well lose with this hand if my opponent has a fast opener with multiple Gobos. But any untap land just gives me a turn 4 Titan with Dryad, and we even don't care about Eidolon, which is nice. So I think this is a keep, but this is a keep that kind of depends on your opponent's draw, which is, I guess, not the best place. The best place to be. Yeah, maybe on the draw I should just ship it, just for good measure. All right, this can be a great thing or it can be a terrible thing. I think it's probably going to be a terrible thing. Sure. Let's play the castle and say go. I think we're gonna get incinerated. Or maybe not. Well, the good thing about keeping this kind of hand is that your opponent can always just keep an even worse hand than the one that you kept, so it's fine. That was bad. I should have played around. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. I should have played around Smash to Smithereens. Because now, if they have the Smash, we get time walked. Yeah, that was bad. That was really bad. I should have just cast the AmuLIT and then played my bounce land. All right. Okay, so not punished, but that was 100% a mistake there. 100% a mistake. My opponent just kept an unkeepable hand, it looks like, which I guess it's good for us. So here we get to Dryad plus Explore, which is nice. Another castle. Sure, this means more mana next turn. It's kind of whatever, but I think that we can't lose at this point. You want to explore before Dryad in case you draw Susa? Does that change anything though? What did I had? I had 2 lands in play. Yeah, I had 2 lands in play. Yeah, I could have Titan if I had Find exactly as Susa. Yeah, you're right. You're right. This is called a free win red. No, this is called a bad keep mono red opponent. I thought it was kind of a known thing that if you are playing Burn, you are supposed to never ever keep a 1-lander. There's a streamer that always plays Burn and I heard him say that. This is just overkill. Like, this actually just literally does not matter. Can keep one land and burn if you know you're playing against Path to Exile, but that's really it. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I think it's kind of the same thing with Dredge. I think with those decks, there's like a very, very, very small percentage of hands that you can actually keep on a single land, or in like very specific circumstances. Yeah, no, it was that what Punt is saying is correct. If I had found either a Summoner's Pact or an Azusa of that Explorer, then I would have been able to cast a Titan right then and there. So yeah, it was definitely correct for me to do that. This hand actually sounds great against the Lurrus deck. We do AmuLIT on 1, even though AmuLIT is not really good in this hand. It's super, super medium. In fact, there's an argument for like kind of baiting my opponent. It doesn't really work though. Because like AmuLIT is the worst card in this hand, right? So if my opponent's gonna Inquisition me, then of course I would like them to take the AmuLIT because it's the worst hand that I have here. But they're playing, they're playing this deck. Well, good thing I didn't. Good thing I didn't try to next level my opponent, because I would have next leveled myself. Sure. So if I draw a Titan with the second AmuLIT, I can cast it if I don't play this. It's funny how entering the battlefield tapped actually allows me for a line towards Titan, which I otherwise wouldn't have. yeah. It's correct for me to do it like this. Okay, now it doesn't matter anymore, but up until that point, because this enters the battlefield tapped, what I can do here is I can do this, and I can kind of like hold back some info, I guess, that my last card in hand is a bounce land. So I don't need to show them that I already have the bounce in hand. When will AmuLIT reach the 40 lands mark? Yeah, unfortunately, I think that there's like too many core pieces. So you can't ever really get to that many lands. That's not bad. Find me Tolera West, or yeah, Karn is a fine consolation prize. Also, I feel like it's correct to identify which cards were there in the Ancient String, so you know what you are not drawing. But I think that ordering them is a complete waste of time. Don't waste brain power on doing that, because it's just not worth it. Is this a worm turn? Well, now that the Spellskite is covered, I think that we walk EV. Yeah, for sure. This is walk EV time. Yeah, Basilion counters Ballista. Yeah, I know, right? Let's go, BB. They can still find something like Colossus Hammer or something like that, which could be a problem. Wait, I guess, do they have it? Yeah, they already have it. But we just chump block one turn and then we plus on the Colossus Hammer. Maybe we make it a 1-1 and then we can kill it with the Ballista. So I'm not particularly worried about the whole Colossal Hammer thing. So they have to play the hammer now in response. Yep. Now we just chump this. Next turn we plus Karn on this. Easy game, easy life. The only problem would be if they have a way to actually set up lethal for this turn, which is not unthinkable. It's not unthinkable. Like, they might be able to set up lethal here. They need another hammer, and they need... So second hammer plus the other thing that gives them trample. We're at 22 though, so it's not going to be that easy for them. It's irrelevant. I'll block. Thank you. What? Am I supposed to block here? I think so. Right? Yeah, mods are fine. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I liked it, Adam. Just Troning. Trolling with Tron. So this actually represents a ballista counter. They have 2 cards left in hand. They could have Shadow Spear. Yeah, exactly. I think that we are... Like, if I untap, there's no way that I'm losing, so we probably want to be doing this just to make sure that we don't get blown out by something silly. Yeah, so I think that we're just gonna do this. I do appreciate the trolls, Adam. I do appreciate the trolls. We're at 22 punts, so second hammer would not be lethal. But I think this deck plays a couple of bolts, if I'm not mistaken, so I am opening myself to bolt for no reason, really. Oh. Sweet. Well, that was good. Is that one good, chat? Sometimes I forget. Sometimes I forget where that one's good. Whoa, Adam with this sub. Welcome to the Primetime Stronghold, my friend, for the 4th month in a row. Tier 1 sub, let's go. Appreciate it. And thank you for the follow, Ryan 100495. I think that we were already winning this, but this kind of just cleans it up. Oh, also we can explosives on 2 for good measure. Just for the BM value, just to show my opponent, you know. If we don't draw a Titan, can we make hammer into a creature? Would de-equip and not be recouped? Yes, that was one of the lines. The other line, which would have been better, would be to just explosives on 2 and blow up my opponent's board. And then everything else that they try to play to equip the stuff to, we just ballista down, so... yeah, let's double Titan. It's more fun. It's more fun this way. My opponent's a fighter, though. If only I can draw this and this, maybe I can get there. Thinks my opponent. If only they knew. So Stronghold and Garrison. I guess I could have gone in Vesuva and then just play the Rod Farm. Eh. This is less clicks. Do you fool things that it's possible that my opponent doesn't think, or they think that I'm just not having a good time right now or something? And that's what they're making me go through it? What's the most amount of damage? Probably this. Yeah. Float a mana. Float a mana. Pew! Pew! I said pew! Oh, I actually wanted to do this. Oh, opponent, come on. Do you actually believe that I'm not going to double strike my Titan opponent? Who do you think I am? We can still double strike the other one, getting a tapped land here. Should we do it? Yeah, let's do it. Just to show my opponent. Pay 2? No. Let's kill her, dude. Yeah. Let's kill her, dude. I mean, if you're gonna let me have fun, opponent, I'm gonna have my fun. This one doesn't have double strike. Go to blocks. In before Ethereal Haze, we just kill them with Walking Ballista. If we get Fog, we just Ballista them. Oh yeah. Opponent. I'm gonna give them the lag check. This is what Spike usually does. Spike just gives their opponents the lag check. Oh yes! They lost connection to the game. Exactly. Oh man. How unlucky that my opponent got disconnected right now. How unlucky you got disconnected right as I am swinging for lethal. Oh man. Good stuff. Good stuff. And I love Magic, yeah. How are you feeling on AmuLIT versus Blue-White Titan, right? Green-White Titan. I mean, I think that there are different decks, just like the Blue-Green Titan was a deck back when Occult was legal. There are just different decks with different strengths and weaknesses. So, yeah, that's really all There's not much else to think about. Blue-White Frost Titan. I mean, there actually is a Blue-White Sun Titan deck. It's not very good. We definitely want these cards. Punt, do you think that Karn is actually good in this matchup? We definitely want Ghost Quarter because they have Ink Moth. Karn is fine. I don't think it's great. I think it's okay. I think it's okay potentially, but I don't think it's great. It doesn't do really anything, right? You don't think it gets cut? Yeah. What would you cut? Because I feel like these are the cards that I'm bringing in, and I feel like we want them. Because our opponent's faster than us. So I think that we need those, and we definitely need the Ghost Quarter. So I think we definitely bring this in. Now will we cut? It's the question. Probably Cavern can go. Why Ghost Quarter? Because they have Ink Moth Nexus, and we don't have that many answers to Ink Moth Nexus otherwise. So what I would do might not be correct. Honestly, I could see cutting all the steerings. This is going to be a very fast matchup. Like, I'd rather be using my mana in the early turns to dismember their stuff for like Rex Age or even Beast Within. Cavern better than Third Castle. Interesting, just because it's an untapped source on one. It's possible. Yeah, Karn actually seems super medium. So I guess we can do this. Something like this is what I think I would try to do. Because once you play a threat, like, you would keep Explorer over Grazer. Once you keep a like, our opponent's not gonna go answering our threats, right? So usually against this kind of matchup where you don't love Ballista, they have a bunch of 1/1s though. They have a bunch of 1/1s. I'm down to doing this though. Oh, we need one more card. I freaked out, Ah! Maybe it should have been the Cavern. Oh, the Cavern I didn't put back in place. Whoops. They do have a bunch of 1/1s in their deck, so that's definitely worth considering. This is a fine keep. Turn 1 AmuLIT, turn 2 we can Beast Within something if we need to, or we can do other stuff. Alright. So now this is a turn 3 Titan if my opponent doesn't do anything potentially lethal. Okay. So now we have all the bases covered. This is great. Yep. So we're just gonna transmute here, I think, instead of holding up Beast Within. Because we can't do both, and transmuting sets up lethal next turn. Place a second Cavern and Uro. Yeah, I don't think that they are like direct replacements. Like Tracker does not replace Cavern. Sure, got a Colossus Hammer. Oh, I guess we don't have lethal because Stronghold is here. Unfortunate. Classic. Classic. Alright, we have to figure out something else now. We gotta figure out something else now. Yeah, we can Titan and Haste, but now my opponent has a 12-12 blocker, which we're probably gonna have to beast within. I guess we can just beast within the Colossus Hammer. That doesn't sound bad at all. We can also transmute for explosives. Probably explosives on 2, which is not bad. What other options do we have? Damn it, we have so many options. We can Titan. We can't Titan for a second Titan, unfortunately, but we can Titan plus attack plus beast within. Also, wait a second. How do we haste Titan now? We actually cannot haste Titan anymore. Because this was the literal actual worst draw in the deck. Balakut plus Vestige. Yeah, I guess that does it. Yeah. Chimps don't mind being missed. How the hell am I supposed to play this turn? I mean, we have to summon our Spect. One thing that we also have to watch out is the fact that we might die to Damping Sphere if my opponent does have it. Because if I want to haste, we have to use this, so... Just EE on 2. EE on 2 does play around... The problem that I have with EE of 2 is that it loses to Path to Exile. And then we cannot chain Titans anymore because we already used T-West. So that's my only argument against explosives. So I think I like attacking so I can develop my mana, I can go get more stuff. And we can actually, on the attack trigger, we can get... Yeah, I think I like that. Let's make red mana there. Let's haste, and I guess I'm gonna bounce Stronghold. It's either Stronghold or Vestige. What am I trying to get here next turn? I think it's gonna be Vestige. We attack, yes. T-West. We already have a bounce land, so I guess we want to get Field. Which is not going to be active next turn, but it's going to be active on the following turn. No, we can't even double strike. This is like the saddest. This was such an awful draw. It made our sequence so much more awkward. It's kind of brutal. We don't have to worry about any of that stuff. I'm just going to go for Field here, I think. T-West. Yeah, sure. Let's get Windswept Heath. So I think we're just going to Beast Within the Colossus Hammer once my opponent blocks. The only problem here is, I guess we die to double Colossus Hammer. But that's about it, really. No, we don't lose to Wet Ball because we get a tapped... Oh, actually, we don't have a tapped blue source. Brutal. Whoops. Well, that's what I was trying to set up. It kind of didn't work out, I guess. No attack with Core Outfitter. Does this mean Lightning Bolt? Against Fractius, bring in Celestial Purge. I have no idea what we're talking about Fredge at. So next turn we pay for Pact. We play this. I think we don't block. I don't know what's Fractius, Fredget. So I think that if they have double Colossus Hammer, that's good on them. But I think we don't block. Playing against Slivers. I still don't know what you're talking about. Still no idea what you're saying. Oh, sweet. Well, finally a draw that makes things a little bit easier for us. We're probably still okay. We were probably in fine shape regardless, but now we are in lethal shape, which is a better shape, in case you were wondering. Thank you for the follow, Wraithmorn. Let's get a white source here so we can get Gruul Turf. Field plus Gruul Turf. All right, 2-1. So let's start. Oh, okay. No, I probably would not bring in Purge against Slivers. It kills the haste and flying sliver, which is pretty important, and it also kills the the sedge sliver, the one that makes. Oh, this is really funny. This is really, really funny. So we're probably playing the mirror. And this hand seems lackluster against the mirror, so let's try another one. This one seems a lot better. Sweet. Well, that's a freaking interesting hand. Yeah, we're playing against Pundit One, who is the person that I copied the list from, who was the guest in our podcast. I think I'm actually gonna bottom the Summoner's Card. This is, this is a very, very interesting But I think I'm on the play. And I think that Karn on the play is going to be more impactful than... So I'm going to... than the Titan, because I can stop my opponent's Titans. So the question is, do I want to play towards Karn, or do I want to play towards Titan? Whoever loses has to quit AmuLIT for life. Damn, stakes. Stakes are high. Well, Steering's back most into Karn. Yes, exactly. And actually, Steering's looks pretty good here. Now, I think I have to shape the card here. Yams, thank you for the tier 1 sub for the 5th month in a row. Thank you for the support. Appreciate it. I think I'm actually gonna go for the Titan line, just because I can make it turn 3 Titan if I find the bounce line of these ancient steerings. Okay, so we're gonna go get Breeding Pool, and we're of course gonna play AmuLIT on 1. So with any land, we can Dryad into Steerings, hoping to find a bounce land. An opponent move to 5. Yeah, that counts. All right, so some green mana here, ancient steerings, and bingo. All right, Pont is gonna need something really good here. He's gonna need something real fucking good here. But with this list in particular, one thing that I want to point out is the fact that we don't have main deck Ghost Quarter. So we don't have main deck Ghost Quarter, and we don't have main deck Pact of Negation. So the main ways that we have to actually stop my opponent from getting Karn, from getting Titan, are not in the deck. So we're playing some very honest Magic here. I think I want the bounce in play. Yeah, roll to 6 into turn 3 Titan. Easy. Easy game, easy life. Alright, how do we mulligan for this Cyber League game? We definitely want GQ. And I think we want Forces and Sage. Maybe even Beast Within. This member isn't clear. Maybe it is a play versus draw kind of thing. The thing is that in this matchup, like, Karn is actually so good. +1 Beast, Gracer, Steerings, Fountain, Castle. That kind of makes sense. Kaneki with the raid of 278 viewers. Thank you so much, Canister. How is your stream? I hope you were doing something nonsensical today. What am I missing here? I think I want to kind of explore. Infant, thank you for the follow. Oh, Rex Sage is the one that we're not bringing in. Interesting. I think that Rex Sage is actually pretty great in the matchup because it kills Dryad. It's a pactable answer to Dryad. So I'm following Punt's recommendations here, but I don't think I agree with that one. I think that might have been correct before. Also, I think I'm actually going to keep this. I think that the force is going to be disruptive enough, and we have a route towards a fast Karn. And we have ways to stop my opponent's fast kills, so I think I'm feeling pretty safe here. If we didn't have the force, I would definitely shit this. To this day, I still love the new follow picture. Oh yeah, that's great. An updated meme. Yeah, that's cool. Well, this is interesting. Let's assume that, I mean, we know how my opponent is cyberling, so we know that they have... We know that they have force, and we know that they have Bis within. Broccoli 90, thank you for the follow. With those things in consideration... The thing is that we already have the Azusa, so the upside is so insane because we have the bounce land now. So I think I'm going to go for the AmuLIT. I think it's close. I think it's really, really close. But I think that my opponent's not going to get to the point where they can actually hardcast the force. So if they do force me, it's going to be... They're going to be 2-for-1-ing themselves. But by doing this, I am allowing myself the chance to Azusa plus... plus Karn next turn. And since I'm going to Azusa plus Karn next turn, I should hold on to this AmuLIT because it doesn't do anything for me. Yeah, there's no reason for me to expose my AmuLIT to something like a Rex Age or something, even though we just saw Punt's Cyberling and still by hard thing about follow. We just saw Punt Cyberling and he's not playing that. Well, that's messed up. But I can force them to use that Ghost Quarter. I don't think they're going to use it. Terrible draw, by the way. So I think that we might be in a situation where he might do it right here. Although I guess that if he's not doing it, it's because this Karn is probably not going to be relevant. So we have to assume that we're going to be facing a Titan next turn. Regardless, it's correct for me to go for liquid metal coating here, I think. What's up, Burrito? How's it going? Why are the AmuLIT parents fighting? That's funny. I also want to point out the fact that Punt has the correct art Ghost Quarter and the correct art Azusa. So that's definitely a very common mistake to make, you know, just not play the optimal arts of the cards. We see a slight misstep, a little bit of a punt there with the wrong art breeding pool. Just a tiny mistake there. But overall pretty solid card choice. Disinturn Timber? I no idea what that. Oh yeah, the new thing. That Azusa is such bad art, friend. I mean, you can be entitled to be you're entitled to be wrong. It's fine. You can choose to be wrong. It's perfectly okay. So they're probably gonna go Squatter, copy their own Ghost Quarter, bounce Ghost Quarter, replay it. And I guess we are gonna have to draw another bounce land or Vesuva here. If we draw bounce land or Vesuva, our Titan is gonna be better than theirs. Because we have an AmuLIT in play and they don't. And return to pool. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. They kind of have to go squatter right here. Honestly, that was a sick top deck. So sick. Such a sick top deck. So I imagine that I can force punts. We have one land drop left. We get Boros, Garrison, and Stronghold. Punt, Ghost Quarters, one of them. And we still get to main phase kill their primetime. Coding plus Force of Vigor stuff is pretty nice. That one doesn't come up too often. Yeah, so this is not surprising. Get the forest here. Now we can't haste anymore. But we have one land drop remaining, which means that we can coding and we can beast within. I think I'm gonna coding plus beast within here. One of their last cards in hand is Breeding Pool. So what happens if they top deck exactly primetime? If they top deck exactly primetime, then they get to haste, which I'm not too excited about. So I think I'm actually gonna blow up the Boros Garrison, which means that they cannot haste. Yeah. Should probably bounce this, and I think I upkeep this. We know that Punt isn't playing any form of counter magic. I guess we can begin to combat this. It's probably better. Yeah, we're playing the 75 card mirror here. Another alternative would have been to destroy the Simic Growth, because that prevents Punt from transmuting, because we know that they have the blue source in hand. I think that preventing them from hasting is going to be more important. Doesn't have AmuLIT counter code in the mirror is a scam. Yeah, we kept 7 and my Punt kept they moved to 5. But yeah, look at that. Insert the Spider-Man meme, you know, like insert Spider-Man meme right there. This is probably F6. Just remain frames afterwards, no matter who wins. I think we're gonna try our best to make that a thing. Okay, no second Titan is big there, but they can still cast another Titan if they found it. If they find it. The good thing is that if they didn't find Titan exactly that turn, like it just gets tougher and tougher for them. All right, so they did find it. Okay. So last card in hand is a breeding pool. Is this a league? Yeah. They misplayed wrong forest art. I mean, it's not the optimal forest art, but it's not the worst forest art either. Advanced specific. Yeah, they want to make sure that they have enough blue sorcerers to be able to transmute and keep this chain going. So another hand is breeding. Well, I guess just a Lurrus. Okay. So now what? Now what? Well, we get to attack and we get to threaten double strike. We also get to go squatter something if we want to, which means that we can get them off of double blue mana. The problem is if we get them off double blue mana, we don't kill the Titan. So that's probably not a good alternative for us. So I guess we start with an attack and we see what Punt does. And with this attack, we're going to get Field of the Dead and Tolerate West. Yeah. Actually, no. Let's get Ghost Quarter, actually. No, I guess Field of the Dead would have been better. Never mind. Yeah, I made a mistake. I'm saving this Lucamiddle Codeine to potentially, like, yeah, so Punt obviously doesn't trade here because he's behind and he needs the prime time in order to win. So what we can do here is we can go... I guess we should have gotten Valakut. I guess that was, yeah, that was a slight misstep there. We're still fine. So... 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm gonna transmute here for Pact. Yeah, I mean we just have AmuLIT here. We're so far ahead. Yeah. So bounce here, play this, get a Sombo. I am missequencing left and right, but I think that we're gonna be okay. He also needs to spend his turn paying for a Pact. So that's also important. So I think that we're just good here. Yeah, the mirror match is very, very much about AmuLIT specifically. I think I'm gonna take this turn off to minus Karn, and we're gonna get Engineered Explosives in case we need to reset the board. And we're just gonna do this. Pass the turn. We have Ghost Quarter, so he can't haste the Titan. And he only has exactly one card. in that he's gonna draw. His card in hand is a T-West, which is obviously pretty good, but whether he finds Valakut or he finds something else, if he finds a Titan and he wants to go the Stronghold route, we can stop both of those. Definitely, I didn't plan my turn ahead on the previous turn. If I had planned my turn ahead, we would have been even further ahead, but... Alright, 3-1. At that point, I think it legit just doesn't really matter what we do. We're just so far ahead. The story of both games was the exact same, right? I just had an AmuLIT and my opponent didn't, but... GG's, Pawn, GG's. Yeah, this was the hand. What we did is we bottomed the Karn, which I thought was the correct line. But there's multiple arguments to make for bottoming different cards here. Yeah, we mull to 6. This is a mull to 6, so we have to ship one card. I think that the card to bottom is just the Karn. But there's definitely, you know, we can discuss it. Like, I think that these are basically the must keeps. Steerings is a must, AmuLIT is a must, this is a must, this is a must. Here are the two arguments. Or the Karn, right? AmuLIT, Steerings, and the two lands are must keeps. Yeah, I ended up going for Karn, right? Because this can set up either a turn 3 Karn, which needs less pieces. Because also if I draw something that's not a bounce land, like just a normal land, we can still do something on turn 3. Like we can sequence in such a way that we just have a turn 3 Karn, even if we don't play the Dryad on 2. Yeah, we agree there. We agree. I ended up shipping the Karn indeed. Huh. So we're on the play. And this hand, what are we looking for here? We're looking for an AmuLIT. We're looking for a bounce land or a castle. Of note, we actually have double green for castle. So castle actually works beautifully with this hand. And we have a Dryad already, and we have a Titan already. I think that we can actually keep this. Any bounce land or any bounce land or any castle gives us a turn 4 Titan with Dryad and probably with double Valakut, so probably lethal. So I think I'm gonna keep this. Ish Lumpy thing will follow. So I think that this is okay. Okay, we found the castle, and I'm probably taking castle over the AmuLIT here. We can try to like YOLO a little bit and just hope that we can actually find like another bounce land / castle, but I think castle is just too good to pass up here. Playing against Ursa's Mine. Yeah, I agree. Alright, now we can find an AmuLIT maybe? Sweet. Alright, sick. So now we have all the pieces covered. So I'm gonna put this in giant. And now we have a guaranteed 4 Titan. So we have lethal on turn 4, basically. So it's up to my opponent to kill me before I set up lethal here. Okay, so they're playing green Tron, which is probably good for us instead of Eldrazi Tron. with this specific hand. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think exposing the Valakut is less bad than exposing the castle, I think. What do we think about the new 7-mana company? Check out the podcast. We discuss it for a very long time. So you're definitely going to be able to find all the answers that you want there. Sure, we just castle here and we just lethal my opponent. So this is lethal, but I'm trying to figure out if there's like a better way to do this. Yeah, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm just trying, like, this is the best one in case my opponent has exactly this member. And for whatever reason, they were kind of like holding on to it and trying to figure out whether they wanted to crack Expedition Map, and they were holding onto that dismember for some reason. So I think this is the better way to go about it. But yeah, this is lethal. Well, yeah, I mean, I know that it's lethal, right? So I'm trying to figure out, okay, is there any way that I can make this, that I can play around anything that might maybe blow me out, right? So that's what I'm trying to figure out here. But yeah, this is very, very much lethal. Tron players keeping 7, not having turn 3 Tron is something that will forever haunt me. What do we like better against Big Tron? Rexage or Force? I think I like better Rexage, right? Usually the way that this ends up going south is with Ensnaring Rage off of Karn the Great Creator, so yeah, you need to have outs to Karn, exactly. And then we're gonna probably just cut the forces. Maybe one force is defensible. Beast Within is an all-star though. And I think I like Gracer better than Explorer. So something like this. The first episode is known as Toy. Yeah, we're aware. We don't know. We don't know why. It's weird. Yeah, this hand is worse than the previous one. So we probably have to ship this one. Now we are actually on the draw, which makes this hand a lot less exciting. This hand cannot keep up with a turn 3 Karn. Neither can this one. Yeah, okay. I mean, it's not great, but what are you gonna do? Okay, so we're keeping all the lands, and we have to draw into a land. So I think that we bottom Explore. Am I supposed to bottom Dryad here? There's no way I'm supposed to bottom Dryad. Dryad is what catches me up. We're on 5. I know that I'm shipping Explorer. You would just keep Explorer as so like shipping Gracer and Dryad. But my curve looks like shit there, right? I go turn 2 Explore. I guess it digs me closer to an AmuLIT, which is the way that I win this game, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, so I think that this is the choice that allows me to get the luckiest. I mean, players, yeah, the definition of backseat gamers. I mean, I don't think we're backseat. We're literally discussing lines. We're just discussing lines. I don't think that this is backseat gaming. And what's the point of streaming if we're not going to all learn together? The whole point of streaming is it's to do exactly that. Just discuss lines and try to figure out what the optimal thing is and talk about it. Cheap boards that I play really hard. Yeah, I don't think that works. I don't think that you can ever bottom the Boros there. I don't think you can bottom any of the lands really. I stream so I can get carried by AmuLIT Degens in my chat. And then the AmuLIT Degens tell you the perfect lines and you still don't do them. So you're really playing on hard mode, Jack. Got him. Okay. I'm just gonna shuffle the Dryad back in, I guess. Okay, it looks like my opponent this time around they did keep a turn 3 Tron hand. They did just nothing so far, so. Heyo. That one's okay. Alright. I mean, it doesn't matter too much. If they have turn 3 Karn, we're fucked regardless, so. But this is kind of what we got. Honestly, there's an argument that I am far behind enough that I'm supposed to play the castle and hold on to the bounce land there, because that would allow me to top deck into AmuLIT, and then I can AmuLIT into Azusa into primetime. Oh, come on, opponent, really? Again, you did not keep turn 3 Karn? Turn 3 Tron? Jeez. What is with these Tron players, man? Oh, play another chromatic effect. No. Unlucky. Unlucky. No, I mean, I'm gonna go the coding route here. If it works, it works. Probably won't, but I have to set myself up for it. Really? This is what we're doing? God damn it, opponent. If nothing else is gonna do bad Pine Needle person. Yeah, that's a very, very underestimated aspect of Pine Needle. Oh yeah. Kudo walking ballista against the Karn. We're going for Titan here though. Not close. Not close. So now my opponent needs to answer the Karn, needs to answer the primetime, and needs to... I mean, they need to get anything going on before anything else. We already have another Pact in hand. So I think I'm going to go for Field plus Ghost Squatter here. I think it gives me the better option if I want to... Like, if my opponent goes, like, final Tron piece into what's his name? Into... Karn. Big Karn. I guess if they do have last Tron piece into Mog, we probably lose. Actually, we might still have a shot. Well, I can't coding punt. There's a Karn on, yeah. Yeah, otherwise, yes, I agree. I would have 100% gone for coding there. But we can't because they have their own Karn. I think we just plus here. Like, I don't care about drawing any other card, really. Yes, reading cards is important. Yeah. Particularly reading cards that you actually play in your own deck, right? That's like the next level. That's the Galaxy Brain play. Just reading cards that you also play in your own deck. That's a nice art, though. I like that art. What's kind of weird is that this doesn't really look like an anime thingy. All of these arts kind of look like anime. And this one doesn't, which is weird. Alright, so I think they need to have Ulamog because nothing else matters. Like, it needs to be exactly Ulamog here. And it needs to be this turn because if I get to untap, they lose. Only card AmuLIT players ever over this prime time? Yeah, for sure. Just like yesterday, Glorian can't target dragons. Oh yeah, that's a weird one. Apparently, a lot of Ponza players, like the most hated card by Ponza players is what's his name? What's the name of that stupid card? The Sprite Dragon. That's the card that people lose the most to, which I find absolutely hilarious. You got a bridge, OP. What else you got? Alright, this seems to be... Okay, Karn Liberator. Okay, we keep playing. Probably minus on prime time. As usual. Yeah. You're gonna love a good old Tron player, right? You're gonna love a good old Tron player. You gotta love good old Tron players. I guess we get to kill both because of this stronghold, which is kind of cool. Never change, Tron players. Never change. Yeah, please. Please never change. So we kill both of these dudes. We blow up the Ursa's mine because it's the last one that they played. And then what? We get Vesuva to copy field. So we can go wide. We don't need to worry about a snare bridge anymore. Vesuva T-West? Vesuva T-West? This one goes here, this one goes there. Sweet. We can also... I guess T-West Timic Road is better, right? We do have a pack to pay for, so we have to make sure that we have multiple green sources in play. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's do that. This plays around like my opponent mogging me, which is not impossible. Draw step, lower the mine. Of course, my opponent draw step was exactly Ursa's mine. But again, if they didn't have the Ulamog there, so if they again don't have the Ulamog, we're probably still okay. Mace Mine Tome! Yes! Yes! How's it going, Flipperipa? Oh, yes. You love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. Okay, so what are we doing this turn? 1, 2, 3, 4. We transmute, we Dryad, and we kill them? Can we kill them? We can't kill them. So they're gonna block here, kill this guy. They're gonna take 10. I've already have used one of my land drops. Well, does that change anything? Pact for Dryad, play Dryad. We attack. They block here. They pink here. They take 10. We get Valakut plus Bound plus Vesuva. We got, you know, this is actually lethal. Yeah, we're fine now. Remember that turn, chat, when my opponent could have minused on my Primeval Titan, but they minused on my Karn instead? Those were the times, weren't they? ¿Quiere pasar por el stream dentro de una hora? Ok, sí, no hay problema. Alright, 4-1. 4-1. Very, very sketchy keeps from my opponent. Very confused about them. but sure. Yeah, list is sweet. List is sweet. It's doing a lot of powerful things. It never stopped doing a lot of powerful things. One thing is that we didn't really get paired against Prowess, which is probably one of the matchups that I'm the most scared of. So I'm not sure. Karn still has it going on. Would be better with both. I don't think that both is pretty good right now. I mean, it could be okay, I guess. I still think AmuLIT with Karn is just better than without. Yes, because AmuLIT with Karn has a chance against Gruul, and AmuLIT without doesn't really. So, both is terrible. I don't agree with that, but sure, whatever. Grixis is very good against Prowess. Yeah, I agree with that, but Karn is also very bad. And like, you don't really have a sideboard plan. You have one engineered explosives, that's it. How about AmuLIT with embodied druid, man? I love that we still feed an Uro at the 75. Yeah, I mean, this is probably the worst card in the deck, though. Honestly, it's unclear that Uro is better than something like Obstinate Bailoff, particularly considering the Prowess matchup specifically. Didn't play against any Prowess yesterday in the PTQ? Huh, interesting. Did I get paired against Hated Gods decks? No, I did not. Cyberplan is like, don't lose to Beloved against Mono Red Prowess. Well, the Mono Red one is probably the toughest one. But like against the Blue Red Prowess versions, it can sometimes be a little bit rough. Because you really struggle to beat Stormwing Entity specifically, or I guess Stormwing Entity, because the other one you can EE on too, but Stormwing is rough. X2 and then 5 and 4, brutal. This memory is Cyberplan against Blue. Yeah, exactly, but it's kind of a shaky plan, right? WB Castor 42, thank you for the follow. It's not the best plan, is what I'm saying. Like, I guess that we do have a plan. It's just that our plan against those specific matchups is not very good. Anyway, so we're gonna play another league, but I'm gonna take a very short break before we do so. So if you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe buttons, and I will see you in the next video. Take care and bye bye.